lifestyle and healthy living in 2022. So today, the video I have for you, as promised, I am going to be making salmon patty that are breaded. So salmon breaded patties. And I'm going to show you just how I do that. First things first, let's go over the ingredients. So the bread I'm using today, I'm using whole grain oat nut bread. And I love this bread because it has all kinds of protein, fiber, and whole grain included in the bread. So it's like a 3-in-1. I am using, let me see, it's called Chicken of the Sea. I'm using Chicken of the Sea, pink salmon. Now I've already shredded the bread up and I have that in the bowl here. And I'm going to be coating the bread with some eggs. So these are cage-free eggs. So let's get started. So first things first, I'm going to get the salmon. You're definitely going to need a cutting board or some kind of plate or something to put this salmon on, for sure. Either a cutting board or like a baking tray. I think I'm going to use my bigger cutting board today. This is my favorite one to use. And actually these cutting boards came from Amazon, so I'm going to bring it up close so you can see it. These cutting boards came from Amazon. I'm using my big cutting board today. I think the cutting boards were either $20 or less than $20 on Amazon. So that was a very good deal right there. This is very good. So I'm going to go ahead, let me take my watch off. Okay, it's because I'm going to get my hands dirty and I don't want to get my watch dirty. One other ingredient I want to use is some fresh thyme. So I want to add the thyme in with this salmon, breaded, then we're going to go through the process of coating it. So just watch. The thyme I'm using, this is fresh thyme and you can get it at any store. Fresh thyme. The reason I like to use the fresh thyme is because I like the flavor of it. The fresh thyme, it has such a fresh, it has a fresh aroma to it. So I definitely love using fresh thyme. Whenever I'm able to use it, I use it. And what you're doing is just gently, just scrubbing the thyme off the branch, gently. That's it. This is going, wait till this is done. This is going to be such a meal. Okay, and I think that's enough of that thyme. I'm going to move that over there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start the molding process, molding the salmon. Now the eggs, you can add any kind of seasoning. What I added was just regular seasoning salt to the eggs. Just to give it a kick of a flavor. I don't like my food to be bland, so that's why I have a spice rack, and I definitely make use of the spice rack. Okay, next I'm going to go up first. Let's go ahead. I've already molded the salmon here, and I've got my hands pretty dirty here. I'm going to go ahead and start molding the salmon. I'm adding in some bread. Go ahead and start adding in the bread. Now, I have preheated the oven already preheated it, and I preheated it to 400 degrees. Have my baking tray here. I'll put it somewhere over there. I'll put my baking tray over there until I'm ready for it. So what I've done, I've go ahead and I've added it in. added the breadcrumbs in, and I'm just going to gently dip it in this yolk. The reason I dip it in the yolk is because of the coating. It's going to help this to be crunchy, and you're going to realize once you dip it in the yolk, this is going to be super duper crunchy. And I'm just molding this. You see that? I've just molded all of that together, coated it with the yolk. Now, to the bake tray. And there's no particular size that you can use for the salmon. The size I'm using, I'm just making this salmon, I would say medium size. I'm just pressing this together with the bread in it, pressing the breadcrumbs in, and then I'm just going to add in the yolk. Just adding the yolk coating, once again, like I said, once you add the yolk coating in, that is what's going to help it be crispy. Well, naturally crispy, I'll put it that way. It's going to naturally help it crisp up. And there you have it. It's a crispy, natural salmon patty. Okay, I have plenty of salmon here, so I'm just going to utilize it. Okay, here we go. So it's going from dry to wet. I don't want to go from wet to dry because if you're going from wet to dry, you're going to be adding that yolk in with the bread, the breadcrumbs, which is not what I want to do. I want to make sure I get the breadcrumbs in there first, then I'm dipping the end, so this can help it become more crispy. There you go. And my hands are messy, but it's going to be tasty once it's done, for sure. Okay, and then I'm just molding this together like such, just like a patty. I think I can get maybe 2 more patties out of this. And I hope everybody is enjoying their weekend. I hope everybody has a wonderful Memorial Day holiday. No barbecue for me. I'm not eating any meat, and I haven't eaten meat in about 3.5 months. What's been helping me as far as the challenge of not eating meat, and it's challenging sometimes, but not all the time. What's been helping me with the challenge is kind of, it's like a mind over matter. And I've started to discipline myself more. I'm in the gym more often than I used to. Want to give a shout out to YouFit Gym. I love that gym. They stay open late. I love that gym. It's just, going to the gym has kind of helped me discipline my mind more. It is challenging not eating meat. Definitely when you live your whole life eating meat, it can become challenging. But like, as I said, me going to the gym and disciplining my mind more, it's a mind over matter thing. I definitely sometimes have the urge to get a, like a chicken burger or something. But certainly mind over matter. What I'm going to do is go ahead and wash my hands. I've preheated the oven already. So the oven has been preheated to 400 degrees. Okay, let's go ahead and get our baking rack. I've got the salmon ready. It's on the baking rack. I'm opening the oven. Just going to go ahead and place that salmon right on in. There we go. So now we're going to give it time to cook. While that's cooking, I'd like to go over why I chose to give up meat. And this is not for everyone. This is just the reason why I myself chose to give up meat. The reason I chose to give up meat is because I found myself becoming more and more sluggish, more unmotivated. And one thing I love to do is to go to the gym, get my heart rate up, and I just love to release stress at the gym. And I found myself just being more sluggish, which is certainly not like me. I'm more of an upbeat person. I'm always on the go. It's my personality. It's what I love to do. I love to be doing something and not sitting idle. So what I found myself doing was becoming more sluggish and like uninterested in going to the gym, uninterested in exercising, and I know that was not like me. So first, what I started off doing was I started off maybe cutting back on meat. I believe I started off 3 days a week cutting out the meat. Maybe I went down to 3 days a week eating meat, and then the rest of the time I was eating like salmon, tuna, and salads. That's how it started off. And then I kind of slowly weaned myself off of meat. And as I said before, it has been about 3.5 months since I have given up meat. For me, I feel more alert. I feel more oriented. Definitely more of myself. I'm a busy person. I'm always on the go. I'm always motivated, and I'm back to myself. Let me go over the vitamins that I use. I'm using whole food vitamins. You can find these on Amazon. These are whole food, My Kind Organics, Women Wants Daily Vitamins. These are the vitamins that I take every day. The main thing I have to make sure of is that I'm getting protein. Since I'm not eating meat, I have to make sure that I'm getting protein intake, and I have to make sure that I'm getting iron intake, because that's very important for your blood cells. So I'm definitely cognitive and I'm aware of that. And I'm always making sure either I'm having like a protein smoothie in the morning or either eggs for breakfast, egg omelet or something. And I always add, when I'm making egg omelet in the morning, I always add spinach to it as a source of iron. When I'm making a smoothie, I try my best to add protein to it and or spinach to it as a source of iron. And so far my journey has been a good journey. Like I said, I have been tempted here and there very lightly to go back to eating meat, but for me it's definitely mind over matter. And this salmon seems to be coming along pretty good. Seems to be humming along pretty good. So leave comments in the comment section. Guys, if you would like me to make a recipe, feel free to leave comments in the comment section. Feel free leave suggestions, and I'll definitely look at your suggestions and see. I am looking for a recipe for it's called cauliflower. That is a vegetable that I've never worked with. I would like to try something new with cauliflower, but I have to look for a recipe for that. So yeah, that's definitely one I'm looking for. I'm looking for a recipe for that one. And I'm always up for trying new recipes at all times, all the time. I'm looking at new recipes. Another one of my favorites, I'm not going to say it. I will be making it soon. You'll definitely see it sometime this week. I just have to get one more ingredient for it, and I'll definitely be uploading it this week. I'm not going to say which one it is. I like surprises. But this one, as far as the salmon patties, quick lunch meal, quick dinner meal, very easy, very simple. Put the ingredients together. You can add some bread to it. Now, on my journey of giving up meat, one thing I know I could definitely not give up was bread. I love bread. I grew up with bread. I love bread entirely too much. That's one thing I can't give up. Not bread. And this is the bread I use. Whole grain oatmeal. The reason I use this bread, as I said again in the beginning, I use this bread because it comes along with whole grain, proteins, and fiber. And I love the taste of it. I don't like the bland taste of wheat bread. I always like some type of bread that has some kind of flavor to it, some kind of kick to it. I don't eat sweets that often, but this bread, it has like the, I won't say tartness, salty, a little bit of salty flavor to it. So I think that's what I like about it. I'm definitely not a sweet person. I don't like sweets, and I'll put it that way. I'll word it that way. I don't like sweets too much, but I definitely like salties. And I'm definitely, in the meantime, let me show you guys my favorite potato chips. Plantain chips lime. This is the way to my heart. This is the way to my heart. Right here. Any argument, plantain chips solves it. And so there you have it. I just gave you a tip about me. Oh, I'm really enjoying this. So let's go ahead and check on the salmon. Let me go ahead and get one of these. The salmon is still pretty moist. I'm gonna give it a little more time. It's still pretty moist. With the egg added to the salmon as a binding method, this recipe of adding the egg to the salmon actually came from my aunt. She's Southern, so she gave me that recipe of adding the egg to bind it. She said the egg adds more crunchiness to it, and I've learned that making this recipe that works. The egg definitely adds a crunch to it. Definitely. So I'm hoping my audience has a great weekend, a great Memorial's Day. We're waiting on our salmon to cook so that I can plate it and I can show you guys how it looks. And then I'll come back and record the ending.